amigos, and welcome to the last show on Televida. I'm Elliott, and we're back in this show to celebrate Black History Month. We're going to talk about one of my heroes, one of everybody's heroes, Arthur Ashe. Actually, he was very special to me. He was very special in tennis. He's the reason I got into tennis. I recently got back into tennis again because of a suggestion of a friend of mine, and there's something about playing tennis. I know you pickleball people are out there, but there's something about opening up a can of tennis balls, hearing everybody playing as you crack open the door in the morning, and a lot of that started me from Arthur Ashe. And as a matter of fact, I've still got my Arthur Ashe tennis record. So you want to know who Arthur Ashe was? Watch this clip.
Growing up, I was refused permission to enter the Richmond City tournament. But the only reason I could not play was because I was black.
Can anybody hear my song? Come and hear me now. Can anybody hear my song? Come near me now. We are children of the same God, walking bold and strong to the rhythm of the drum.
You grow up black in the American South, you have no control. Your life is proscribed. When do I get to decide what I want to do?
They wouldn't recognize him as a great player in his own hometown.
Beware the fury of a patient man.
They are soldiers of the vain God, walking bold and strike to the rhythm of the gun.
I love Wimbledon. Such a formidable 7 days if you're going to go all the way through it. And the only way to overcome the fear is to get out there, play, see what happens. Something I've been preparing for all my life. I think he'll probably have his hands full.
8 times he's tried at Wimbledon. Man of vision, man of character.
There's a river we need to cross before the falls with the rocks below. I have learned my lesson the hard way.
I know what it's like to be stepped on. I know what it's like also to see some black hero do well, in the face of adversity.
I will sail my soul down the river of love. I'm a fool for I'm a fool.
That fist that Arthur Ashe held up when he beat Jimmy Connors July 5th, 1975 meant so much to all of us. I remember watching that. It was really transformative, kind of like when Barack Obama got elected to us. So what's my connection with Arthur Ashe? Why is he so important to me personally? Arthur Ashe grew up in Richmond, Virginia, and he went to Maggie Walker High School, where my uncle was the football coach and his history teacher. And his name was Freddie Cannonball Cooper, and Arthur Ashe even wanted to play on the football team, but he was too slight. His nickname was Skinny and Bones. So they decided to keep on playing tennis. Well, he incidentally was a neighbor of ours, because my Uncle Freddie and Aunt Gretchen lived in Battery Park in Richmond, Virginia, and right down the street, down the hill, were the aforementioned tennis courts where Arthur Ashe got his career started. So he went down there and played every day. His father helped coach him and everything like that. And actually, my uncle was also a coach of somebody who's very famous in Kansas City. Willie Lanier, Hall of Fame Kansas City Chiefs player, was also one of his players and students, and he still is a friend to this day. But anyway, Arthur Ashe, he was the one. So he was playing there. So if Arthur Ashe could play tennis, we could play tennis. So we started playing tennis at once he came into our knowledge, once we knew who he was, we started following Arthur Ashe. So we all started playing tennis at the very same park when we were in Richmond during the summers, back in Kansas City. All me and my brothers, my brother Wayne, my brother Jay, we all three played together. We all played with our Arthur Ashe head competition. It was the coolest racket in the world. My brother Wayne would go through about 10 of these because he'd throw them everywhere. But Arthur Ashe was special because he was the first player to win the first U.S. Open. He beat a player named Tom Ocker. And he also had done this right after he finished the military. So he was Lieutenant Arthur Ashe when he beat him. and he was also a family friend, which is kind of neat. And I remember we'd ask him, what do you do with all the winnings? And I said, what do you do with all the trophies? And he says, I give the trophies to my mom, I keep the checks. We always thought it was very funny. I give the trophies to my mom, I keep the checks. So he was a very important player. The Arthur Ashe U.S. Open Stadium is named after this man, but he was a great guy, but also he stood up for things. He stood up. There used to be tournaments in South Africa. He said he was one of the star players at the time. Hey, I'm not playing in it. And he had a relationship with Mandela, and a lot of him started that just to kind of get that apartheid thing right. So I want to show you another clip about Arthur Ashe and what he meant as an interview and how he helped coach players. We're going to watch this. We're going to be back after we hear more about Arthur Ashe.
When you start off like this. Watch. See, you all started like this. I don't want to do that. Like this. Look, watch. Like that. Start off like that. Okay, let's try it.
Being world famous and being black means that wherever you go, whether you like it or not, you're a sort of ambassador, a representative of your race. Is that a responsibility that you feel?
Oh, yeah. I don't like it, but I feel it, and I don't shrug it off. Mainly because there does still persist in the world myths about athletes in general, that they are all brawn and no brains, and specifically black athletes, that they have even less brain and more brawn, because we tend to do disproportionately well in athletics, running, jumping, whatever, boxing. And I like to fight the myth.
As you can see, he was an amazing guy. He liked the clip. I like to fight the myth. And he did fight the myth. And amazing player, but he had to stop playing because I think at the age of 35 or 36, he had a heart attack. Heart disease had run in his family, so at the peak of his game, he had a heart attack and had to stop playing. And how we lost Arthur Ashe is that through one of his surgeries, he got a transfusion of some AIDS-tainted blood. And that's what finally sent Arthur Ashe to heaven. But he was an unbelievable man, and a lot of people don't know about him still because he died in 1991 or 92, 93 actually. Let me get to the, I've actually got his funeral program actually. So he died in 1993. Our family went to that funeral there. But he was ours. He was from Richmond, Virginia, and he was special to everybody. And the reason I'm playing tennis now, the reason a lot of people playing, you look at people like Serena Williams and Venus Williams and Yannick Noah and a lot of the other players, but not just the black players, players in general. Even Mike Tyson has a tattoo of Arthur Ashe on his arm. So that's how special he was. It was very sad when he passed away, and one of my other favorite players did a tribute of him when they opened up the Arthur Ashe Stadium in New York, John McEnroe. So I'd like to leave this show and our Black History tribute to Arthur Ashe, very special to us, with this tribute from John McEnroe. So adios, amigos. Welcome to the last show. Let's take it out with John McEnroe's tribute to the late, great Arthur Ashe.
And there's Arthur Ashe. Arthur Ashe is by far and away the greatest ambassador we've ever had, a very special athlete to anyone who ever competed against him, played doubles with him, or played under him. He'll always be remembered for his first U.S. Open here, or first U.S. Open played in '68, Wimbledon in '75, where his great win over Jimmy Connors. I prefer to remember the time he held the record for most individual Davis Cup victories for an American, and he led us to 2 Davis Cup championships as captain. Please, yes, yes. Yeah, I think that was my greatest privilege in knowing Arthur, to know him as a teammate. He was as passionate about his winning as they come. He didn't show it the way some of us may have shown it. We may not have always seen eye to eye, but we always set our sights on the same thing, a championship that brought us pride as a national team. Looking back now, no matter how you encountered Arthur, he demanded and commanded respect. Maybe that's because he was simply someone who let his racket do the talking on the court and whose actions off the court spoke volumes about what a fully realized human being he could be. Later in this ceremony, this court will be filled with many of his fellow champions, and though Arthur may not be standing here among us, We'll take satisfaction in the fact that at this stadium, at this occasion, time was taken to honor a man who embodied the best that tennis and sports in general can provide.
Arthur R. Ashe was a tennis prodigy. With the ball and a racket, he couldn't be beat. He won a championship. Everybody scream, a pioneer on America's social change team. In Richmond, Virginia, was a young boy. A tennis racket and a ball were his favorite toys. Threw the ball up, swing, then a big smash. So began a legend named Arthur R. Ashe. Arthur R. Ashe was a tennis prodigy. With the ball and a racket, he couldn't be beat. He won a championship. Everybody scream, pioneer on America's social change team. Tennis was Arthur's favorite sport, but back then he wasn't welcome on the nicer courts. He lived in the times of a segregated nation, but he found a place to practice, stayed humble and patient. Found out quickly though his chances were slim, that everything he needed was right inside of him. So he took that passion and he took that drive, became one of the great players that ever was alive. Arthur R. Ashe was a tennis prodigy. With the ball and a racket, he couldn't be beat. He won a championship. Everybody scream, a pioneer on America's social change team. Watch out, people, Arthur's on a tear again. In a time if you were African American, there weren't many on the court that looked like you. Dominated by white players, yes, it's true, but that didn't stop him. You wouldn't find him open. Won Wimbledon, Australia, and the US Open. He won them all, they called that a grand slam. He never said he couldn't, he said yes I can. Arthur R. Ashe was a tennis prodigy. With the ball and a racket, he couldn't be beat. He won a championship. Everybody scream, a pioneer on America's social change team. But he didn't stop at tennis, he took up the fight to make sure black and white people had equal rights. He was proud of who he was, so he had to explain that all Americans' freedom should be the same. So he traveled around the country, talking the talk, just like on the tennis court where he was walking the walk. Yeah, on the national scene, he made a big splash, the humanitarian tennis champ, Arthur R. Ashe. Arthur R. Ashe was a tennis prodigy. With the ball and a racket, he couldn't be beat. He won a championship. Everybody scream, a pioneer on America's social change team. Arthur R. Ashe was a tennis prodigy. With the ball and a racket, he couldn't be beat. He won a championship. Everybody scream, a pioneer on America's social change team.